congratulations to the winners in the prediction box. Okay, so Oleksandr Usyk, the Ukrainian Nightmare, beats Anthony Joshua via decision. That was a great fight. It was a great showing by Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk is somebody who's been on my radar for a minute. And I know what you Anthony Joshua fans are thinking, just like me, like, God damn it, I knew I should have went with Usyk. But Anthony Joshua's your man and you double down on him. And you're not just wrong because you picked Anthony Joshua like I did. You knew Anthony Joshua was capable of going in there and doing exactly what you said. Anthony Joshua didn't show up. And a question of heart is up in the air with Anthony Joshua. One of the things that I said that I wanted to see in this fight, I wanted to see the dog in him. Roy Jones said it, and Tony Bellew said it. They said he's going to need to establish ring generalship. That's something else that I said, and he's going to establish that and show Oleksandr Usyk that there's a difference between cruiserweight and heavyweight. He said he didn't believe in his skills pretty much up until this fight. He said he wasn't a good fighter. Anthony Joshua said this was the fight where we were going to see him really put all his knowledge together, and it was not there. Anthony Joshua's right hand was in detention. It was not there. It was still in the hotel room. You know, if it had a cell phone, it would be a block signal. You know what I'm saying? You would go straight to voicemail. His right hand was not there. That's one of the important tools that you're going to need basically in the fight and basically against a southpaw. And speaking of a southpaw with Anthony Joshua, his problems in this fight was very, very, very basic. I do not understand it. Anthony Joshua, number one, was tripping and slipping all up over Oleksandr Usyk's feet because one of the basic things that you'll know while fighting a southpaw is getting the foot dominant side. He kept stepping on the inside of Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk's foot working somewhat like a hook when Anthony Joshua tries to back away, so therefore he trips over it. That's what you've seen in the fight with Anthony Joshua, with him stumbling in the ring because he did not know where to place his feet when fighting a southpaw. You want your foot on the outside of that southpaw. That's why Oleksandr Usyk kept getting the drop on him, because he had the angle on him. He had a higher advantage because of an angle, you know, a point of entry that was basically blank and there for him just based off of foot placement. Because if you know anything about fighting, fighting starts from the feet up for those that know. Now, another thing with Anthony Joshua, I said one of the main things going into this fight, and I made a video on it, I talked about combination punching. Where was Anthony Joshua's combination? He said that he was working on combinations for this fight. That was one of my main concerns because I spoke on volume punchers and him having or adapting or using that Rob McCracken style, that step in 1-2 and step back, and not expecting 3 or 4 punches to come back at you when you're fighting a volume puncher. A volume puncher, regardless of sometimes skills at time, a volume puncher can take your victory away from you simply because they're working more and you're not expecting the punches, and they can catch you with something because they're putting out more of an effort and they're only higher in their chances of connection by doing so. Now you add that with precision and they know what they're doing, then you get a character like Usyk, and that should have been expected in the Anthony Joshua camp. So it questions what was going on in that camp and who was you sparring and what was your sparring like, because I do not see how you were able to get away with that. And being the fact that that right hand was so absent, what else could Anthony Joshua really put forward? He needed punches to come behind that. That's why one of the main reasons you see he had a good performance in the Andy Ruiz rematch is Angel Fernandez was one of the forefront trainers in that camp to get Anthony Joshua back, to get his belts back, and it showed in the fight. He did better in the Andy Ruiz rematch than he did in this fight, and he was more on his toes and not afraid to contact. If he landed a punch like he did on Andy Ruiz on Oleksandr Usyk, it would have been a different story. But there was no combination punches, and also there was no willingness to close the gap and really strike with intent and not having fear of letting that right hand fly. He did not use all of his tools, so I don't know how he expects to win against somebody who's so superior with their tool set. That's just very questionable to me. And one of the things that he actually got right in this camp was his stamina. his just intent, his dog wasn't there, and that's one of the things that when you look at the fight, if Anthony Joshua had some true intent, some grit, some dog in him, he could have pulled it off. He didn't even have dog in the later rounds when he knew he was behind, when you have nothing else to lose but to let it hang. And he still didn't let it hang. So it's a big question mark there, what's going on with Anthony Joshua and how he feels about himself in boxing, because he doesn't have a physical problem, but that's another thing that we have to look at is his training. It seems that he trains better than he boxes, so we want to know what's going on. Now, I know Rob McCracken was leaking this, but it seems that he went right back to his old style and forgot what got him his belts back. We were supposed to see him marry the aggressive and marry the technical in this fight. Oleksandr was there for it. He had Oleksandr. He could have took Oleksandr out or got a big, huge jump on the scorecards 3 times in the fight. 3 times in the fight, Anthony Joshua had an opportunity and had Oleksandr hurt, and he could have got him out of there if he either knew about it or, could basically capitalize or recognize what was going on, and I don't think he even seen when he did have Oleksandr Usyk in trouble. But Anthony Joshua fighting Oleksandr Usyk, I seen one of Oleksandr Usyk's weakness, and that's the simple fact that he doesn't like it to the body. He doesn't like it downstairs at all. Anthony Joshua should have seen that and started to work on that a little bit more, but that's one of the basic ways you slow down somebody with speed and, somebody who's got a lot of movement is, you got to stick it to that body. That's something else that's very basic in boxing. And, trainers would tell people, you want to slow this guy down, you got to go, you got to go downstairs. You got to go to the basement, if you want to take his legs away. Anthony Joshua wasn't really implementing that. And it just seems that he always wants to play it safe too much. And it takes away from his natural ability. He has natural size, he has natural strength, he has a natural reach, but he reduces it like 50% when he doesn't want to fight with, a certain intent. Like, he's too cautious, he's too safe, it seems like he's too worried about losing or something like that. And this is the thing. He came into this fight, this is him confident. This is not him unconfident. He fought like that and he was confident. He may have lost his confidence in the fight, but that's him coming to a fight confident. So how's he going to do when he's coming to a fight not confident? Andy Ruiz was a little bit different. Everybody in the world felt like, and we all knew that he was supposed to beat Andy Ruiz. But a lot of people didn't feel like you could beat Oleksandr Usyk. So now the real mental test comes into play. It wasn't the Andy Ruiz, it's actually this right now. And he lost for a lot of basic reasons, but one of the big reasons is that he wasn't there. He ain't got no dog in him. It's obvious. Like, that dog was supposed to come out at some point in time. You're supposed to let it loose and let it hang at some point in time. You got natural size, natural advantage, natural reach. You know what I'm saying? You're athletic. He could have put it into play. You didn't utilize your right hand. You kept your feet in the wrong place constantly. You came in there with a basic 1-2. I mean, what's wrong with following up with a hook? It's built into the movement. 1-2 and hook it. Like what was wrong with that? Like none of that was going on. Once again, basic stuff. But it's interesting to see where we'll go now. But Oleksandr Usyk did a great job. Like I said, he's somebody who's been on my radar for a long time. I've been waiting to see what he does. And it's amazing to see where he's at right now. And the interesting thing about right now is the months to come in the future is going to be something to see, because I think about this from a lot of sides. And you can go ahead and rematch Oleksandr Usyk. He's only going to be harder to beat. And he's going to be harder to beat because he's going to now have adjusted to that weight. Anthony Joshua, biggest advantage in the fight, and when he actually did good and when he actually could have took over and when he actually could have capitalized, was due to the fact that Oleksandr Usyk was getting tired. He was getting winded. And Anthony Joshua, peep this. Ironically enough, Anthony Joshua's stamina was better than Oleksandr Usyk's at that time and during the whole fight. It was better. Usyk is not, when you put on that weight, you're not used to carrying that around and fighting. Now, I don't care how much you get in shape for a fight. You have to walk, you have to be with that for a while. Okay, so he naturally got tired, and that's when Anthony Joshua was supposed to come on. But it didn't happen. You know, and the thing about Usyk is he's going to adjust. And he's going to be better. And he already had the mental confidence of knowing that he beat you. And he already said he thought you would be tougher. So what do you think he's going to be like in a rematch? And that's not even the most deadliest part. The most deadliest part is Oleksandr Usyk idol and who he looks up to. He looks up to and he wants to be like and replicate Evander Holyfield. So far, he's as closest as he has ever been. Do you think it's going to be easy to pry that from him when he's so close to doing that very same thing that Evander Holyfield did? It's obvious that that's his mission. And being the fact he's really a person who's really not that moved about money, really about that morals and character and, you know, doing right, and, you know, Bible and all that other stuff. Like, he's really about that. And he really fights for something more than just the mundane and, you know, just the physical and all the luxuries. You know, he's really not about that. And he's really about his legacy and all that other stuff. Now you're fighting somebody. Now you're really going to fight somebody. So if you want it back, at this point, this is going to be Anthony Joshua's greatest test. But without that dog in him, there ain't nothing to talk about.